Hello and welcome to Junior Family Night. I'm Brian Glassberg, Supervisor of School Counseling for JP Stevens, the two middle schools that lead into JP Stevens, and the five elementary schools that feed into them. We have a wonderful presentation for you tonight, led by Ms. Randazza, who's one of our school counselors here. And I just want to let you know that you should always check our website for special programs, different parent events that we have. And we will be having a follow-up to this junior family night where the counselors will meet with your juniors to talk about everything that they need to know leading into next year. We will also make any recordings that we have available so that you can view them at a later time. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Hello and welcome to our JP Stevens Junior Family presentation. My name is Maria Randazza. I'm one of the 11 counselors here on staff at JP. In this presentation, we will go over an overview on the college application process, the timeline for the college process, what you should be doing now during junior year as parents, as well as our juniors, what to do during this upcoming summer, and what to expect next year, senior year. There are important upcoming events that we hold at JP Stevens that we want you to be aware of. And anything that I go over in this presentation today, just know that the presentation is recorded and it will be on our website, so you can always go back and review this presentation in your own time whenever you need to. One of the most important dates coming up is February 17th. Each individual counselor will be meeting with their own personal juniors, and they will be going over how to do a college search and more detailed information on the college process. As well as there are other dates coming up that are very important. The Common Application Workshop is sometime the week of March 22nd for our juniors. We will be working with our juniors, the college counselors will be working with our juniors on how to fill out the Common Application process and what the Common Application is. There's also March 25th, the Top 10 College Essay Mistakes with Randy Levine. That's an excellent presentation. I highly recommend you to attend that as well. Here's a few more dates for the future for you to be aware of. September is back to school night. Right before back to school night, we always have a senior parent night. So at that point, you'll be senior parents, and all the counselors will meet with you again on that night and go over what you will need to know at that point as senior parents and how to get through the rest of the process at that time. So relax throughout this whole presentation. We do help as your counselors walk you through the process for graduating and for applying to college. At the end of September, beginning of October, will be JP Stevens Financial Aid Night. I highly recommend that you attend that. That's very important information. Even if you think that you're not going to qualify for financial aid, it's very important for you to fill out the financial aid forms, even if it's for merit scholarships or other things. Many schools do require to have the financial aid forms in. So I highly recommend for you to attend that night, and you will be receiving information, emails about the exact date of that in the future. Visit our website. I can't say this enough. Make sure that you visit our JP Stevens website. It has up-to-date information. We're always changing it and making it up-to-date, whether it's scholarship information, Naviance information, summer program information, anything that we get, we update our website weekly. So I highly recommend for our juniors as well as our junior parents to visit our website weekly and see what's new. Okay. Look at these numbers. What do these numbers have in common? 5, 89, 20, 6, 40, 15, 13, 39, 4, 27. It's kind of all over the place. This is the rank of the students from JP Stevens last year who are attending Ivy League schools now. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be the number 1, 2, or 3 student in the class. There's no real formula in what the colleges are looking for that accept our students. It's kind of all over the place. It's where you're supposed to be. Look at these colleges. Look at this list of schools. There's Ivy League schools, there's state schools, big universities, small universities. What do these universities have in common? The most number of Fortune 500 CEOs come from these colleges. As you can see, these are all different types of school: private, state, Ivy, small, large. I always say it's not necessarily the college that you attend, as long as the college that you attend is the right fit. And it really matters what you do with the degree after the school, not necessarily the name of the school that you attend. SCORE. We have a new program coming to JP Stevens. For those of you that are used to using Naviance, at the end of June, Naviance is going to go away and we are going to start using SCORE. So right now, all of our students can apply and get their SCORE account working, so you can start using that now. You can use both SCORE and Naviance through the end of this year. But we recommend for all our students to make sure that they have a SCORE account. Most of our juniors do, but if you don't, we recommend that you fill it out and make your account with SCORE. I say let the juniors do it. The parents can always look at the junior's account. I wouldn't do two separate accounts. So SCORE is a comprehensive tool created to assist students and parents with the following: the college search and selection process, financial tools to assess affordability, that's very important, and the college application process. That's what we will use SCORE for. How will your child use SCORE? It's basically going to take the place of Naviance. Students must update prospective and active applications. They'll add their teachers for teacher recommendations. That will go through the SCORE program. And they will respond to surveys and milestones, any upcoming college responses, and anything that we need for them to do for the college application process on the school's end through SCORE. And again, relax, because we will be guiding all of the juniors through the SCORE process and telling them what they need to do and when. We just wanted to use this opportunity now to just bring it up and put it in your mind as to what's coming. Accessing SCORE. If you don't, as a student, have a SCORE account, here's how you would make a student account. Create your own SCORE account by using the link, Register for SCORE. Again, this program will be on our website, so you can always access this program in the future and follow these directions, as well as our college counselors have been meeting with our juniors and going over how to register for SCORE, and all of you should be receiving an email as well with directions if you have not already done so. Download the SCORE app. This is pretty cool. Now SCORE has a student app. So you can download the student app, the SCORE student app, to your phone if you want to. You do not have to. College searches. What should you be doing now? As you're coming to the middle to the end of your junior year, junior parents, what should you be doing now? Your child completed in Naviance a Do What You Are, which is basically a personality test, when they were in 9th grade. And then last year, when they were in 10th grade, they did the Strengths Explorer assessment, which is a career cluster finder. Kind of tells them a little bit more about maybe some careers that would be good for them to go into with their personality type and what they came up as. They can go in Naviance. You can look at these findings of what they did with these tests and see where their strengths and where their personality took them, and some of the maybe careers that's recommended for them. It's recommended, doesn't mean that it has to be. So we want you to start using that information and doing college searches now. That's what you should be doing at this point. So college searches are what you need to do at this point. Statistics based on JP Stevens graduates are in our Naviance as well as our SCORE accounts. You can do college searches through both of those accounts. and learn some specifics as to what the students at JP Stevens did as far as getting accepted to which schools. The college admissions data using SCORE is a scattergrams data form. It looks like this. So once you get your SCORE account, once your students are on it, and again, they'll be playing around with these programs a little bit more in the future, but this is what the scattergrams would look like, and it helps you see through our own students, your child or your GPA, your SATs if you have them, and where you fall in place, whether with that information, whether people with your same GPA and SAT scores got accepted, rejected, or waitlisted to a specific school. These scattergrams would show you that data and that information. College admissions data using the scattergrams program. Again, this is what the program looks like, and the graphs can help you see visually whether you have a high chance of being accepted, rejected, or waitlisted with your criteria of your GPA and SAT scores if you have them. Right now, the SAT score portion is missing in a lot of schools and a lot of students because over the last year with the pandemic, many schools chose to do score choice, meaning you did not have to take the standardized tests of the ACT or SAT. So some of that is missing, and we're thinking that maybe next year, come September, we're hearing a lot of schools are doing, again, score choice, where you can choose to send your SAT or ACT scores, but you don't have to. But some schools are still requiring your SAT or ACT scores, and the only way to know that for sure is once you make your college list and do a college search, make your list of schools that you're interested in applying to, and then looking it up to see if right now they are requiring standardized test scores of an SAT or ACT. Financial aid and scholarships. You can find this information. Financial aid is the FAFSA form, the free application for federal student aid. That is due or not due. That opens up October 1st of your senior year. That's when you start to fill out those forms. And again, by this date, we will have a financial aid night that helps you and gives you information on how to fill out these forms and what to do. It will also go over the CSS profile that some schools have. Besides filling out the financial aid form, some schools, mostly private schools, require you to also do a CSS profile in their financial aid and scholarships packet. And you will find more information about this on the actual college's website as well as in our financial aid night. Financial aid night will be coming up, and we will go over all of that information in the future, but you can look at it now to see what will be required of you for the future, to see what you will need, and so that you can be better prepared. Again, that form opens for our class that you're in now, our junior class. The form for next year will open on October 1st. Components of the application. So when the student, as a senior, has to fill out the application, there's student data and demographic information that they'll have to fill out themselves. Very simple. There's the academic information also as well. That considers the transcript and the school profile, which is what us as counselors send out for each one of our students. The SAT or ACT scores is something that the student has to send out to each school if that's applicable. That's if the schools are requiring you to send them or if you want to send them to the schools, whether they're choice schools for the scores. So that will determine on you sending them, and when you do send the scores, you would have to send them directly from the SAT or ACT website yourself. There is also an essay and a supplemental questions that many of the schools have that you need to fill out and do. Letters of recommendation. Some schools require letters of recommendation. Not all schools. The only way to know that answer is once you have your college list of the schools that you're interested in applying to, then you look to see what they require. Some schools require one teacher recommendation, one counselor recommendation. Some schools require two teachers recommendation and one counselor recommendation. And that's only if needed. Again, once you make your college list and you look at the schools, you'll know better what they're asking you for, what is required of them. Extracurricular activities, we always put that in the college application, and you will see that on the application. They have a spot for it right on the application. And the financial aid packet. That's all the components of a college application. What's important to the schools? What do the schools look at most? Many times we have a lot of parents asking us, should my child volunteer more? Should my child be involved in more activities? All of that stuff is wonderful, and it's very good to make our students, well-rounded and look good for college. But yet it's always the students' grades in classes and the class choices. Did they challenge themselves enough? Were they taking a good senior year schedule? Did they work to improve their grades? So grades are definitely number one, and the choice of what classes they take. Then it usually goes by the strength of the curriculum, their SAT or ACT scores, if the school is requiring standardized test scores at this point. Again, through the pandemic, that's changing a little, but there are schools that are still using it. And I recommend that all students take the SAT and ACT, or SAT or ACT, once at least, because if you do get a good score, it can always only benefit you by sending those scores if it's a score choice school. The SAT is a big component, but so is the essay, your essay that you write in the application as well. And many of our teachers will go over the essays with the students, and we review them. The college counselors will review them with the students as well as the individual counselors. The teacher recommendations are important. The counselor recommendation is important. And then you can see as you go down the line, activities and, what the students are involved in. So this just gives you a graph of what's most important in the college application and where the college admissions, ranks them. Transcripts. Your transcript is right on your portal in Genesis. So all of our students already have access to their transcript. You can get your unofficial transcript through Genesis, look at it. You can see on the bottom, you can see a GPA, overall GPA, weighted and unweighted. Weighted, your weighted GPA is out of a 6.33, and an unweighted GPA is out of a 4.33. Many of our parents and students ask us, what's the difference between weighted and unweighted? Well, a weighted scale means that the scale actually weighs whether it weighs the level of the class. For example, if it's on a weighted scale and you're in an honors English class, your honors English class will be weighted at a higher level than a level 1 or a level 2. So on a weighted scale, if you're in an honors class and you get an A on a weighted scale is worth a 6.0 if you're in an honors class. If you're in a level 1 class on a weighted scale and you get an A, it's worth a 5.0. And on the weighted scale, if you're in a level 2 class, an A would be weighted as a 4.0. So that's on the weighted scale. It just means the weight of the class is weighted more for the grade. All of that information is in our student handbook, which is on our website, our JP Stevens website, and it shows you exactly how GPAs are calculated, and you can use that formula to figure it out if you want to check and see what's on your transcript as well. Your junior year GPA will not come out until after June. So in September, your transcript will have your overall GPA from freshman to sophomore to junior year. And that is the one that will go to the colleges in October when you apply. Also, your senior year schedule is always on your transcript when we send it, when you're applying to colleges. And at that point, it just shows the classes that you are currently enrolled in with no grade. Then once our students finish their first marking period or after their second marking period, many colleges ask for a mid-year report. And then we would send out a transcript that shows first and second mark and period grades for senior year averaged together. And that would get sent out in a mid-year report at that point. So senior year grades do count, and the senior classes that you enroll in also count, because the colleges look at the whole package of all 4 years. There are tests that you can take for the schools that require standardized tests, the SAT or ACT. Some students do better on the SAT, some students do better on the ACT, some students do just about exactly the same. My own children did exactly the same on both the SAT and ACT. The only way to know the difference for you is to have your child or you as a student take one SAT and take one ACT and see which score you like better. You can take those tests more than one time. You can take the SAT 2-3 times. You can take the ACT 2-3 times if you feel that you need to. And again, the only way you know if the college needs the SAT or ACT score is once you get your list of colleges that you're applying to, you check and see what they are requiring of you as far as tests. There are also AP, Advanced Placement Tests. Many of you have already started to take AP classes. You do not need to have AP classes or tests to get into college. That is not needed. Some students use them, and you would send your AP test scores separate on your own when you're applying to school. Then there is the test of the English as a foreign language. So for any of our students that have only been here in America and they speak another language and you've only been here maybe 3 years, some schools would ask you to take that test if English was not your first language or your main language. In 2021, the majority of colleges were test optional. It is currently looking like it will be the same for 21-22. To check the college you are interested in applying to see if it's test optional, you can go to this website. They will direct you whether the school is requiring tests or they are not, or they're test optional. And you can also ask the college counselors because they'll help you with that as well if you're confused. Here's a list of test dates that are coming up. These are the ACT dates and the SAT dates, depending on what you choose. You can sign up. You have to sign up early. These dates are getting filled. You have to sign up at least, I believe, 8 weeks, 9 weeks before the test is occurring. So I would recommend that you look at these dates now, if you have not already done so, and sign up for your test as soon as possible. Essay writing, start early. We can't say this enough. I tell all of my students to please start and get your essays done over the summer. Work on them over the summer. This way you're not stressed with the college application process, and this way you can also focus on your senior year classes once September starts. The Common application, it has their essays usually come up early. I would say they're probably going to be available by April or May. So check out their website and see when they send out the new prompts. They're probably, a lot of times they use the same essays from last year. And I'm thinking with the pandemic, they might keep them the same, but we won't know. And once they do come out with the new, when they release the new ones for 21-22, we will also get that out to our juniors and send that out that it's available. But you can check on your own and keep up to date with it. I also recommend that you go on the Common App now, check out the actual application and see what you're going to have to do and look at it beforehand so you can have it available and you can be prepared. Letters of recommendation. So if you are applying to a school that requires teacher recommendations, you're going to ask your teacher at the end of this year or beginning of next year to write you a letter of recommendation. And once you ask them to write you a letter, if they say yes, then you would put their name into the SCORE program and put them in as a recommender through SCORE. Again, as your counselor, we will walk you through this process on what to do. We just want to tell you now what you will be prepared preparing to do for the future. So right now, I would say start thinking about what teachers you really have a connection with, you get along with. If you don't have a connection, try and make some connections now with the teachers so that they would be willing to and have some information about you that they can remember to write a very good letter of recommendation for you. Activity sheet, which is really a resume. We have that available under our forms on our counseling website. I recommend that you go there now, you download it and start your activity sheet. Start your resume. It's the same thing. You want to get an idea to be prepared early. If you write your resume, write down, that's basically writing down all the activities you're involved in, whether it's in school or outside of school. You want to put everything. And start making a list and showing us what you do and where you do it and whether you're a leader in something or whether you run a program. And again, whether it's in school or outside of school, we want to know it. And that activity sheet will go to your counselor for them to have so that they can help. That will also help us write your letter of recommendation from your counselor. What will your school counselor send? So what will we send in this college application process to the colleges that you're applying to? So as a counselor, we will send through the SCORE program, we will send our counselor letter of recommendation, the J.P. Stevens school profile, which all schools want and they require, your specific transcript for you. And sometimes when it's needed, we will send your senior year first marking period grades or your mid-year grades. What will your child need to do? Well, the student is responsible for completing the demographic information on the college application. That's basically your address, all the information the college is asking. They will need to write their essay, their college essay, and sometimes some colleges require more than one essay. Sometimes they require a supplemental essay, which is basically a second essay that they need to do. Each school is different, so again, the only way to know the answer to that, whether they require a supplemental essay or not, is by going onto the actual college website that you're looking to apply to and see what their requirements are. Your child will also need to send their SAT or ACT scores directly to the college from the College Board or the ACT program. You would send them directly to the colleges from their actual College Board website or the ACT.org website. Your child will also need to ask for and completing any teacher recommendation or school counselor letter of recommendation. They will ask their teachers to write letters if they need to. And you will need to do the financial aid application packet. So what should you be doing now? Well, the first thing I say to do is make sure you sign up and take the SAT or ACT. Again, I recommend you doing this at least once anyway, even if the school doesn't require it, because it may just be a help. But again, if you don't want to and you know the school is absolutely not requiring the scores, then you do not have to. But if you are going to take the SAT or ACT, you want to get that all done by the time you become a senior. This way, that part's out of the way and you can really focus on your applications as well as your senior year classes. Focus on your grades. That's really important. Many students think that senior year classes and grades don't count, and I can't stress how much they really do count. The colleges definitely look at your junior year by far, absolutely, but they really do look at your senior year grades and your senior year classes, the classes that you chose to take. You want to register and attend any virtual college events, any virtual college tours, especially now during the pandemic. It's kind of hard because many schools are not allowing visits. But they do have virtual visits on the internet. So please sign up for those and make sure that you are doing your homework in making your college list and visiting the schools, even if it's virtually. There are some schools that are allowing some college visits right now, and you can do that, on a day of the weekend if they're allowing it. So I highly suggest that you get out and do what you can, whether it's virtually or actually on campus. And start your college search. I can't stress that enough as well. You need to do your college search, make a list, and go through the schools that you're thinking about, and then go onto their websites and look at their requirements of what you would need to apply to that school. The college searches you can do through SCORE, the college network. There's a college search there. There's college searches on Naviance that you still have access to, as well as the College Board has a phenomenal college search called Big Future. It's excellent. Students, do now. Work on your activity sheets, which is your resume, which is what I said before. Compile letters or signatures to show that you did what you're saying that you do, because that will need to be turned into your counselor for when they write your letter of recommendation. Make a list of everything. Write down whether you're a leader, whether you're the advisor, anything that you do outside of school that's always helpful. And have that ready for September. Think about which teachers you would like to ask for a letter of recommendation from. So that's important to start thinking of that now. Parents, what should parents be doing now? Well, one, I recommend that you sit down with your child and do a college search. Make a college list of the schools that you would like them to apply to, that they want to apply to, really, that works for the child. And also sit down together and really have a conversation about financial aid. It's very important to really look at that at this point. When you're doing your college searches and your child comes up with a list of schools that they're really looking into and that they really want to apply to, I highly recommend that then you look at how much it costs to go to that school. And remember, if it's a school that you have to live on campus, you have to add in the living, you have to add in living, you have to add in the food package, you have to add it all together in both semesters, and really see if you think that that's doable. Because some of these schools cost $75,000 a year to attend, and some of them don't give much in money, and then other schools do give some money. So it's something that you really have to sit down and discuss as a family and know where, what your limit is and where you think is a feasible, price for your family to afford, and what loans you might need to get and what documentation you need for the financial aid package. It's something to be prepared early for with that. What else should parents do now? After making a list of colleges, I recommend as a parent to visit the schools virtually. I know I did this with my own two daughters who are now in college, so I've been through this whole process. I visited the schools. I even drove to the schools, and I drove around the area to see what's around the area, really to get a feel for whether you think your child would fit well there. Take your child with you, because it's really their decision and something that they need to know. And students do get 3 excused absences for in-person college visits in their junior year. So if there is any school that is doing in-person college visits and you want to take advantage of that, you do get 3 excused absences to do that. But definitely sign up for the virtual college visits and utilize your visit through SCORE. During the visit, when you do these virtual visits or on-campus visits, we recommend that you take notes for each college and write it down, like make a list of what the schools are telling you that they require, whether they're SAT, ACT test optional, what SAT or ACT scores they may be looking for, what GPA range are they looking for, do they require an essay, do they require supplements to the essay, do they require teacher recommendations, and if they do, how many teacher recommendations? Do they require a counselor recommendation? What is the tuition? What majors do they offer? Are they majors that you might be interested in applying for? And really important, what is the application deadline? Just so you have it in your head for when you need to be ready. Here's a sample chart to help you keep track of the college application process. I know I used this for my own children, and it was very helpful because after visiting 2 or 3 and even doing it virtually, it's hard to remember what the colleges are all saying. It becomes all, meshed together in your mind. So it's really helpful if you take a chart and you write down each school individually, the name of the school, what they're looking for, and what their requirements are. This way, when you're ready to apply, it's all right in front of you and you know what each school recommends and what each school needs. Admissions options. Many students, as well as parents, get confused. What's regular decision? What's rolling admissions? What's early action? What's early decision? There's many different avenues that the schools take. So regular decision is usually December 1st, January 1st. It's just a regular decision. You're just going to apply with the vast majority of students to go to that school, and they'll give you a date that has to be in by, and you get that application in, and then they give you a date when that application, when you'll get your results for that application. So that's just your regular decision. These are non-restrictive. Regular decision, rolling admissions, and early action are all non-restrictive. That means you can apply to many schools, any of these ways, and you're not bound to go to any of these schools with those decisions. There's rolling admissions. That just means that when you get the application in, they look at it and they give you a response. As they come in, they get the answers out. They don't wait for a specific day to start looking at them, and they don't wait for a specific day to give you an answer. Early action. Early action is usually, many schools have early action. That's not bound by law. You can apply to a bunch of schools early action. It's just saying, I want to apply early and I want to get my answer whether I'm accepted or not early. Most of the time, early action is due by November 1st. Again, each school is different, so you would have to look at their date, but most of it is November 1st. And again, you can apply to 3 schools early action. It's just saying that you want to know early whether you are accepted or not. Now, early decision, that's the ED one. Early decision, you can only apply 1 school early decision. That's usually a November 1st deadline, and that commitment is bound by law, meaning if they say that they accept you, then you signed an agreement that said you will attend there. So then you have to not apply anywhere else, and that would be your only application if you get accepted. If you get rejected early decision, then you're released from that contract and you're able to apply to other schools. But early decision, if you apply and they accept you, then you're bound to go there. And that's the same thing with restrictive early action. That's there's a restriction on that. If they accept you, that's saying that you will attend there. Again, this chart is up on this presentation. This presentation is going to be on our website, so you can always review this and look at this chart anytime you need to if you forget. Okay, what to do over the summer. So I recommend that all of our students start writing their college essays over the summer and get that done. As we spoke about before, talk about your finances and be realistic. What is really the price of the college that we can afford? What kind of loans will you need to get? How will you get the loans? What you will need to do? Have that conversation. Is it worth living away at school and paying the extra money for room and board? Or would you rather, go to a school close to home where you can commute? All of those things need to be addressed and spoken about as a family. Start your rave sheets. These rave sheets are needed for letters of recommendation from the school counselor. So there's a parent rave sheet and there's a student rave sheet. We give the option of a parent doing a rave sheet, and these sheets can be found on the counseling website. We say start it over the summer, but that's your chance as a parent to rave about your kid. Tell us as the counselor things that you may think that we don't know, or any information like what their hobbies are, what they like, anything that you'd like to tell us about your child. That's your chance to tell us so that we can use as much information as possible when we're writing their letter of recommendation. And there's also a student rave sheet, which is in the forms on our counseling website. The student rave sheet is the same thing. They're going to tell us a little bit more about themselves that they think we don't know or that we might have forgotten. And we use that information to write our letter of recommendation. Then there's the activity sheet, which is basically the resume. That's also on our counseling website, and we recommend that you start that now, but definitely finish it by the summer. This way you have all of those forms filled out before the first day of senior year, and senior year can be less stressful. What to expect in September and October of your senior year. So like I mentioned earlier in this presentation, on Back to School Night in September, we will have each individual counselor will meet with our parents as a group, and you will get to see your own child's counselor, and you will talk about the whole college process and what you need to do at that point. In August through October, once you have finalized your list of colleges, you're going to put each college into the SCORE program, as well as any schools that you need to put into the Common App. And in September, anybody applying early decision or early action, these applications would be due, all the information for the applications need to be due to the counselor by October 15th. That's for a November 1st deadline. We always say get everything done early. It can't help to get the applications done as early as possible. And if you need to have a teacher recommendation, in September is when you would ask your teachers to write you your letter of recommendation, and you would put their name and score as well. Some teachers let you ask them in June. You can ask them early. That's not always. Each teacher is a little bit different on that. And there's something to remember. Some schools do not require letters of recommendation. For example, Rutgers and Middlesex do not require letters of recommendation. So you want to check your list of colleges and see what they require before you ask anybody to write you one. Seniors will meet with your school counselor in senior workshops. That we will do in September as well. Your counselors will walk you through the entire college process. Seniors will complete their senior rave sheet. Parents will complete the parent rave sheet. Again, I said do that over the summer, so that can be done, but if you don't, it has to be done for September. Your activity sheet or your resume needs to be in, and then you will at that point fill out a transcript release form. And the transcript release form is something that we give our students, and that's basically just allowing us to release your transcript to all of the colleges that you're asking us to send it to. If you are choosing to send your SAT or ACT scores to the colleges, you would, in September and October at that point, send your scores out directly to the colleges, whether you're going through the College Board website or the ACT website. You send them out directly through the website. We, as your counselor, cannot send your SAT or ACT scores. Remember, there is a charge for sending your scores to each college. And don't forget about attending financial aid night. And that should be sometime in September or the beginning of October. You're going to work on your college applications. That would occur in September. When your child has their portion complete, the application, they can submit the application online. So as soon as you finish the application, once it becomes available in September, some of them do become available in August through the Common App website. Excuse me. So some of them do become available then, but I don't think you can send them until September, the end of September. So once you have that all filled out, you can send out the application as soon as you have it ready. Okay. A lot of times the parents as well as students say, okay, we have 2 college counselors on staff at JP Stevens, and then we have 9 individual counselors on staff. So what's the difference between our school counselor as well and between our college counselor? So your college counselors are here. Each of our students are assigned to one of the college counselors, depending on your homeroom. Even homerooms go to Miss Silverberg, and odd homerooms go to Miss Nadell. But what do the college counselors do? Well, they can assist in doing your college search and in preparing you for what you will need for the college application. They can assist in finding scholarships and financial aid and understanding the cost of attending college. They can assist with the Common Application and the Coalition and SCORE. And they will also assist in information on your upcoming college fairs, open houses, and enrichment events. They will help with the essay, consultations, and revisions, and they even meet for summer appointments if needed. And this is how you can make an appointment with Ms. Silverberg or Ms. Nadell. Now, what does your school counselor do in the college process? Well, the college counselor helps you prepare for your application, meaning they help you write your list and they can help you do your college searches, as well as your school counselor helps with all that as well. But your school counselor is the person that's writing your letter of recommendation. The school counselor is the person that's sending out your letter of recommendation, your transcript, the school profile, and any information that needs to go to the school and the school contact is through your school counselor. So that's just to help you understand the difference and what our college counselors do in helping to provide you to be prepared for our college process. Remember, there is a place for everyone. There are great colleges for all students. It does not matter if you are an honors, AP accelerated, or academic level student. There is a place for you. Finding the right college fit for you is the key. It's not all about the name or the ranking assigned by a company. Successful people come from all different colleges, universities, trade schools, certification programs. Many of the top executives from successful companies graduated from colleges most of us have never heard of. Relax. I can't tell you this enough. We will walk you through the process, but being prepared and reading about the schools and doing your homework early is the most important thing, preparation. So prepare early. Do your college visits, your virtual tours, whatever you need. Take your SATs or your ACTs now. Do them before senior year. Write your essays over the summer. Continue to complete the Common Application over the summer. Work on your activity sheet, your resume. Get your signatures for that stuff. Complete your student and your parent rave sheet before senior year. This way, all of that is done so you can relax and really work on the actual application as well as your senior year classes once next year comes. And most importantly, have some downtime. Take time out to enjoy life, cherish time with your family and your friends. Make sure you are getting enough sleep. I can't say that enough. Rest and relax, a happy medium between getting ready for college and finding some downtime is very important. Meet with your school counselors to help relieve stress. That's what we're here for. And we're here to walk you through the whole process. Like I said, coming up on February 17th, each school counselor will be meeting with their group of students individually. That meeting will be taped and videoed so parents can see it at a later date, so you can see what the actual counselor, each individual counselors are doing with their students and preparing them for the college process. And then throughout the rest of this year, you can meet with your college counselors if you have questions. If you're struggling with making a list of schools, parents can also sign up for meetings with the college counselor or the individual counselor to go over the process. But take a deep breath and relax, because we are here to walk you through the process and it will all work out. Thank you so much for joining us for our junior parent presentation. And remember, contact us anytime.